We have the Taipei Snipers on the blue side and Saigon Fantastic 5 on the purple team. The bands are already underway, so Chris, take me through.
Right, so on the side of Taipei Snipers, they have taken out Gregors, Fiddlesticks, and Elise out of the equation. And on the side of Saigon Fantastic 5, it's going to be Lee Sin, Shen, and Nidalee being banned out.
Yeah, it's surprising that their first pick was Annie. I do hope that they have kind of pick up the Morgana, especially since Mistake is playing today, but it seems that Annie will be the first pickup for the side of Azubu TPS, and in response, the support pickup by SF5 is going to be Sona. So some say that Annie kind of bullies out Sona in lane, but still with that crescendo coming in at AoE lockdown, we may see SF5 pull off that press RCOM that they have played before.
That's right, and it does look like we are going to get Jinxed as well, as it's going to be StarCount locking in that Jinx on behalf of his team. And, you know, for this time around, Taipei Snipers, they are pretty much going in for their original lineup, except it's going to be Wince going to be replacing O'Real in the jungle. And I wonder whether he will definitely, you know, if he goes for this Aatrox pick, then I will be quite excited to see that in the jungle, because we know for a fact that Wince is so good in the jungle. He's a very aggressive jungler as well. He likes to go with high risk, high reward plays, as I would like to call it.
Yeah, his plays coming in out of the jungle are very strong. He tends to make very aggressive ganks, but at the same time, very calculated ganks that usually end up and allows the laner to get the kill in lane. Either that or he'll get the kill and kind of snowball it to victory itself. So we do have the Aatrox as well as the Orianna pick. Kind of my notes have gone to waste this time because this is the first time Wince is playing Aatrox.
Right, we have seen him pull off
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, we have seen him pull off some junglers in the past to very good success, especially with that Lee Sin and Elise pick. But this time around, those two picks are just way out of the equation because they're just banned out. So he has to go for somewhat like a similar champion. So Aatrox kind of fits the bill. And for SF5, they have locked in that Ziggs. We have seen a lot of Ziggs coming back into play, especially from the mid laner from Hong Kong Attitude Pasa, bringing back that Ziggs with style.
Bringing back with style.
Yeah,
indeed.
bringing it back with style and dropping the bomb on the opponent team in most matches, I would say. And I think, you know, it's because of the 3.13 patch, so many changes coming in for Ziggs, and he has been pretty much buffed to an extent where you can bring it back into competitive play.
Yeah, pretty sad we didn't see that really crazy poke composition coming in from the SF5 because they ran Jace, Vi, Kog'Maw, Caitlyn, and Fiddlesticks in the previous game. So they seem to have another tactic up their sleeve. It feels like the press RCOM might be coming in from SF5. We do have Su having that Mega Inferno, sorry, the Mega Inferno Bomb coming in, as well as StyleKang, sorry, not StyleKang, but Jinx will be played with the Mega Inferno Death Rocket as well. Super Mega Death Rocket, sorry.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I think this is the time.
I always get it messed up, especially when Jinx and Ziggs are on the same team.
Isn't this like what we spoke of the other time? Like when these two champions end up on the same team,
yes,
it's gonna be a mouthful to just talk about their ultimates. The Super Mega Death Rocket and the Mega Inferno Bomb.
Oh god, I have to really get this into my head. But if they do lock in the Shyvana pick in the top lane, it does seem that SF5 will go in for the press RCOM. Shyvana has that Dragon's Descent. Jarvan has the Flag Spear combo into the Cataclysm, as well as the both Mega Ultimates from both champions, Jinx and Ziggs, and finally the Crescendo for the lockdown. But on the side of Azubu Taipei Snipers, we have already seen all their 5 champions, and it's going to be Annie and Tristana in the bot lane, so something that we don't have BB playing this game, so...
Yeah,
so
he was always the original Taiwanese.
Yeah,
Tristana
in itself, so Mistake will be on that Annie. God, JJ seems to be the one that's going to play Tristana this time. Aatrox will be played by Wince in the jungle. Zonda, Rengar, playing that Rengar top lane didn't really work out so well for them in their previous game. So let's just see how they're going to use Rengar this time. We will see the Orianna pickup coming in from next ABC. I really like that Orianna pickup coming in for Taipei Snipers because of the fact that we have that ball delivery system in the form of Rengar as well as Aatrox, and we may see some submarine ball delivery system coming in from Zonda.
That's right, and that summary ball delivery system will be especially dangerous when you have Jinx on the opponent team. The Jinx player really has to spot the Rengar coming in way beforehand, because for Jinx, you don't really have an innate escape. What you can do is just lay down the Chompers and, you know, hopefully that buys some time for you to get away, and even, you know, the Zap can create some distance, but that's about it. You don't really have a 90 caliber net, you don't really have an Arcane Shift, you don't really have a Tumble to get out of the way, so it's quite dangerous for Jinx at this point in time. So Augustus, you have to watch out.
Yes, Augustus will need to watch out for that submarine Zonda that will be coming into this game. But like I said, I really like the picks coming in from both teams. The Press R comp will be in effect for SF5. It's going to deal an insane amount of burst damage, and the lockdown coming in from Egg will be key to SF5 in winning this fight. But on the other hand, the dive composition coming in from Taipei Snipers is going to be very strong as well. We have the reverse Annie skin being picked up by Mistake here. He will have that Tibbers ultimate once he hits level 6 and he's able to go in for the initiates. We've seen Mistake pull off some very fancy initiates, especially on his Morgana as well as Thresh, and not forgetting he has played Annie 2 times in the GPL as well. And like I've already said earlier, that ball delivery system coming in from next ABC as well as Wins and Zonda, that's going to be very scary indeed.
That's right, and you know, for the viewers who are watching the game like you have just joined us, do not panic when you do not see any Trinkle slots, because we are currently playing on the 3.13 patch, because 3.14 is just rolled into the C servers just today, so it's going to be quite difficult for them to adapt just within a couple of hours. But nevertheless, this is going to be the 3.13 patch, and the thing about it is Syndra and Olaf are banned out, so that is a global ban for this team here, so that is not going to be coming into play for the remaining of the matches. And this time around, we do see a pause coming down, probably a disconnection issue.
We will see, like you said, this game being played on the 3.13 patch instead of 3.14, since the patch just rolled in today. But enough of the patch notes, because we will just be playing on the 3.13, so the game has begun. We will see the game being unpaused, and everyone's just going to make their way down the mid lane on the side of SF5, with the exception of Goni on Shyvana. So no Goni Stark for you today.
Right, no Goni Stark. And for the viewers who are confused about what this Goni Stark thing is about, do refer back to some of our VODs. You know,
like I said, a joke
games.
is not funny if you have to explain it. If they don't get it, they don't get it. Come on, Chris. Jeez.
Right. Never mind that as we go into the game now. So both teams now just spreading their resources all around the map, and Augustus now putting on some exchanges with Zonda here. And the thing I like about this game is that everyone is starting with different items. Look at the laners, look at the junglers, and just look across the board. Everyone is starting differently in this one.
Except the 2 ADCs.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's usually the exception in most cases. You can go with,
if this was the 3.14 patch, I've got a lot to talk about starting ADC items, but this is not, so just the Doran's Blade is going to come out for both the ADCs. When the 3.14 patch hits, we will be talking a little bit more about that in itself. So no level 1 early invades coming into the jungle just yet, and it seems that the laners as well as the junglers will be having a pretty normal start. But SF5 should be considering a lane swap, because we have Egg and Augustus in the red buff on the top half of the map for SF5, so it seems that they will be the ones to initiate this lane swap. What do you think about that?
Well, for Rengar, you're not the most excellent 1v2 laner, even though you do have that raw to kind of help you sustain and help you clear out the waste. But in the long run, I still think that this Shyvana being ran by Goni here would have a big advantage, just because you are more mobile, and that burnout will be able to help you clear that wave slightly faster than Rengar up in the top lane.
Yeah, it seems that the delayed invade does come in from the side of Azuru Taipei Snipers. Wins does pick up that blue buff for the side of SF5, and he will go back into his own jungle pathing, taking the vertical jungle as you like to call it. But some backup coming in from Salkang as well as Egg. They will take the counter jungle. Salkang does pick up the blue buff of Taipei Snipers, and may go for an early gank onto Rengar.
That's right, and it does look like it's gonna be the signature vertical jungle that we have been seeing a lot, especially in the GPL. And there we go, Salkang now with the Black Spear combo will land onto Zonda there, and Zonda has to flash out of the way. Salkang will follow up, and that is gonna be first blood going over to the side of SF5 there, and you know, Augustus getting excited as well. So very clean first blood attempt coming in, and you know, it just paid off also well for the Saigon Fantastic 5.
Yeah, we saw how the Splag Spear combo hit, and Augustus immediately hitting level 2. He doesn't level up the Zap, but instead levels up the Flame Choppers to force the flash out of Zonda. So that's going to be very good. We do have some aggression in the top lane. The knockup coming in from Wins on Aatrox. Goni taken down extremely low. It seems that the flash will come out, but Wins will not take that kill.
Right, that was what, you know, the advantage that we were talking about, and yeah, it does look like there was some lag issues there, but nevertheless we do see SF5 on the aggression here with 3 members up in the top lane, and oh, there we go, once again attempting to reconnect, but might be some quick technical issues here, but it's like everything will be safe and sound once again. So SF5 taking out the top lane turret also quickly, and this is an amazing start for them, I would say, because the thing about controlling Taipei snipers is that you want to have a good lead over them, especially in the early game. If not, they will just you know, roam around and group up in small groups very effectively. And we've seen that time and time again. And SF5 not stopping at all. They are just going to continue to take out this top lane turret, and Wins have to, you know, come and back up Zonda in that sense, but Zonda once again taking a whole ton of damage from Augustus there, and you know, they are not stopping just off yet.
Well, this aggression is something kind of like the buffet strategy that Azubu CPS likes to pick up. They will just continue picking up objective after objective and not getting any deaths in response. And it seems that Azubu Taipei snipers were a bit late to actually respond to the push. The turret is already down about slightly about 10% health or thereabout, and it seems that SF5 may continue to put on the aggression, because I do not think that Wins as well as Zonda will be able to counteract this play.
Right, this is some, you know, very new strategy coming out from the Saigon Fantastic 5 here, because usually for most part of it, we will see, you know, Taipei snipers being the aggressors, but this time around they are getting aggressive, and Wins actually taking a whole ton of damage and stepping onto the Flame Choppers as well. The blood will be popped, but Augustus will not be able to secure the final touches to pick up his second kill of the game. But nevertheless, you know, that was some very good aggression overall. And this time around, we do see Mistake and God JJ having some good responses down in the bottom lane. They did take out the bottom lane turret, first tier turret, so you know, kind of balancing out their goal count. And now Augustus will take out the second top lane turret, you know, very quickly. 5 minutes in, the 2 top tier turrets are taken out, and now Goni taking a whole ton of damage from God JJ and Mistake. He will decide to back off from there. And will we see the snipers just take out that inner turret in the process? But meanwhile, in the mid lane, we do see Su harassing a whole load onto next ABC that he will have to back off from, you know, that entire exchange.
Yeah, it's very measured aggression coming from SF5. We saw them just take Wins down extremely low, popping his blood well, and then they just continue to put on the aggression for that onto that inner turret itself, and it seems they are able to kind of prevent Azubu Taipei snipers, both God JJ as well as Mistake, from taking out that inner turret in response. So they are now up 1 turret. They are also up about 1,500 gold, 1,500 gold ahead of the Azubu Taipei snipers, 6.5 minutes into the game. And it seems that they will assert that dragon domination.
Wow.
So SF5 will continue to go for the global objectives in this game. And will we see Wins actually come in for the counter steal as well? But it seems that the dragon will go down to SF5, and Wins does not have his Bloodwell passive up just yet. Mistake taken down very low. Su on the sidelines with the Satchel Charge, nearly knocking Mistake back.
That's right, and you know, Mistake just calculating the knockback from the Satchel Charge, flashing out of the way, so he manages to keep his life. But nevertheless, Su just blowing out the flash away from Mistake there. And it does look like Su and StyleCount will be able to defend this mid lane turret. So, you know, it's a fantastic, you know, start for Saigon Fantastic 5 up in this early game stages. But will they be able to hang on to these advantages that they have at this point of time? We will see as Goni moves up into the top lane as we go back into the 2v2 and the 1v1s once again.
Yeah, if they are able to kind of make the correct lane movements that they have been making, the measured aggression as well as the opportune rotations coming in through the lane, they will do very well against the Azubu Taipei snipers. If they are able to snowball their victory ahead, so much so that the Azubu Taipei snipers aren't able to come back in the mid game, I think SF5 may pull off an upset tonight.
Right, Augustus is playing so aggressively in this game. He was just standing in the, close to the turret range there and just slowly and steadily chugging down onto it. But he was quite fearless in that sense, not too fearful of what Mistake and God JJ could put down onto him. And that just have some success, because at this point of time the bottom turret for Taipei Snipers is sitting at about close to 1/3 of its health. So I mean, in that sense, Augustus now very relentless in his pursuit.
Yeah, if SF5 kind of continues on whatever plan that they were doing earlier, actually have that 3-man split push where Su as well as Goni actually kind of farms it out against their lane opponents, they may be able to just continue pressuring lane advantages, but it doesn't seem that that's the case. Style Kang will go back and continue his merry way in the jungle. And it seems that Augustus on Jinx is just kind of farming in lane itself.
Right, very defensive work coming in from the Saigon Fantastic 5. I think they knew for a fact, I think they've studied Snipers' playstyle very well, because they know for a fact that Snipers like to punish the opponent team when they get out of position. So this time around, they have studied up, and because of that, they are able to just spot the entire lines of Snipers in the process. And I think it looks like Style Kang might be able to just secure that blue buff for his mid laner Su here.
Yeah, so very interesting play coming from the Snipers. Now, what they have done is actually rotated to the mid lane and forced SF5 to respond to this aggression. This is what the Azubu Taipei Snipers really want in this game, for SF5 to be on the back foot, responding to the rotations instead. So what we have here is actually Wins got JJ as well as Mistake turning and rotating through the jungle and just wanting to put the pressure onto the lane. So SF5 is playing reactionary, unlike what they have done before, which is actually play very aggressively, trying to get as much advantage as possible. So what they need to do is continue on that aggression and just snowball their victory ahead by taking objective after objective. So that's what they want to do. The Cataclysm goes in and the Flash gets blown from next ABC.
Right, so a Cataclysm for a Flash, definitely worth it any day. As we do see now, like you mentioned, Saigon Fantastic 5 pushing ahead with the advantages that they have so far, but the command distance will be able to somewhat clear out and somewhat relieve the pressure away from the Taipei Snipers. And this time around, it's going to be this Saigon Fantastic 5 grouping up. And there we go, Goni and Zonda actually meeting in the close to the mid lane over here, right in the jungle, and Zonda will be jumping onto Goni there relentlessly, and Zonda is actually having a 1 level advantage, and look at him leaping in and out of the brushes, and there we go, Wins with the Dark Flight will chase onto it, he has the ball in, and Goni forced to pop the Dragon Descent just to get out of the way.
You don't fight the ruthless predator in his own jungle, especially when there are brushes around. So
did someone just count the amount of leaps that Zonda just had in that one exchange?
No, I've not been counting the amount of leaps that happened, but definitely more than 5 leaps in that fight.
So much jumping action, and I think in the sense he will be able to jump in the phrase together with God JJ. So a lot of leaping action coming on the side of Taipei Snipers here.
Yeah, so like I said, what they need to do on the side of SF5 is to actually make the aggressive play and kind of force TPS to respond. And on the side of the Snipers, they would need to do the same thing, because it seems that we are reaching a stalemate at this point of time. And if this continues, Azubu TPS should be able to take those mid-game advantages, especially since they are a better team fight coordinated team.
Right, not only that, I think between Tristana and Jinx, I think Tristana traditionally still has better skilling as compared to Jinx. Even though Jinx is, you have a lot of burst damage, but once Tristana hits her threshold, then it's going to be quite a lot of cannons to deal with as well.
Yeah, this 4-man push coming in from SF5 will take down this mid turret very low. Orianna is now kind of making her way down to defend this middle turret. So let's just see what kind of aggression TPS Mistake as well as got JJ taken down very low as well, forcing Mistake to actually go back, probably pick up a few more wards or complete the Sightstone that since he has the Ruby Crystal in his hand.
Right. I like the build coming in from JJ here. He kind of recognizes the fact that SF5 wants to push heavily onto the lines of Snipers there. So he had this reactionary build to that and build up this early static shift to help wave clear alongside the command dissonance here. So I kind of, like that change with him, and that's a very flexible gameplay coming in from him.
Yeah, agreed. So We actually have the gank coming in. Goni taken down extremely low. The Ignite will take him down. Zonda now using the Ruthless Predator to try to get away from Stalkang. He actually jumps back in, so little cheeky play coming in from Zonda.
It does seem like Goni just caught fire there.
Yeah, he does. He gets caught in his own flames, getting ignited and taken down. So now the aggression will be on the side of Azubu Taipei Snipers with Mistake. Also going in the top lane, they will take down this top turret, but a 3-man push in the mid lane may give SF5 that mid turret, and yes, it does. So turret for turret, SF5 still that turret lead ahead. And the gold gap has shrunk from about 1500 gold now to about 800. So that's going to be very good on the side of Azubu Taipei Snipers.
Right, and Su now has to disengage way out because he knew for a fact that if Mistake was able to close in with the range, then he would be in a world of trouble. As we do see, the Dragon is going to be back alive at this point of time, and because of that, it's going to be the next point of contention for both teams, because it does seem like both teams are just securing their early games and making sure that they do have the necessary gold to skill into the mid-game stage.
Yeah, they will have that necessary goal to scale into the mid lane. Tristana picking up their static shift, as you said, will give that kind of slight power spike in, in her favor. That Mega Inferno Death Bomb does come in, but
there we go.
Sorry, no Death Bomb, Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, but the Smite does come out from Wind picking up an easy Dragon.
Right, I think between these two teams for this game, it does look like it's going to be move for move and neck for neck here, because for Taipei Snipers, they have always been known to be this team to group up very early on, but this time around it's going to be the Psycho Fantastic Five kind of mimicking that and taking a play away from them in that sense. So as a result of that, we don't see a lot of farming coming in from both teams, and the only person who is pretty much farming for both teams are the top laners. So between Goni and Zonda, they have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders now, because they are the ones to kind of just move around and shove the lanes effectively on their own side.
It seems that the item pickups for SF5 is a little bit slower this time, because the Spirit Visage is already completed on the side of Rengar, and Shyvana has yet to pick up the Sunfire Cape despite having that gold advantage, and Jinx hasn't picked up the first major item yet. I think Augustus will be recalling back now to get that, to get the Bloodthirster as the first major item.
There we go. So it's going to be the Bloodthirster start for Augustus as compared to God JJ, who has opted to go for the static shift like we mentioned earlier to help with the wave clearing process. And it's going to be Goni facing up against Zonda up in the top lane. It's going to be a brawl for the two top laners, as we do see some action. Stalkang gets caught up with the Tippers, but at the same time the combination coming in from the Mega Inferno Bomb as well as the Super Mega Death Rocket not going to be able to do enough damage to take down the sidelines of Taipei Snipers here, as they look to group up into mid lane. But do take note, next ABC taking a whole load of damage from from the Cyclone Fantastic Fire at this point of time.
Yeah, it was actually caught around the side. He does actually pull out the Crescendo. Actually some aggression coming in from Zonda as well as against Goni, and it seems that Zonda will be able to bully Goni out of lane. Both of them do have their ultimates up. He just goes in for the aggression, wins as well as Mistake on the sidelines, gets knocked up. The stun will come down as well, and Goni will go down to Mistake.
Right, he took out the Bloodwell in the process, but that was not the most worthwhile trade. You don't want to give away the kills away to the side of Snipers here. So Snipers now slowly building themselves back, and for the first time in this game having a slight goal advantage of about 100 gold.
Exactly, and that goal advantage actually will transition very well into the mid game. We saw that the Snipers completed their major items first and were able to take some objectives in the process as well as some kills, and it seems that it's on the onus of SF5 to actually kind of respond to this aggression. We do have the Athene's Unholy Grail being completed on both Su as well as next ABC, but it seems that that needlessly large rod will be picked up by Ziggs. It's going to give him a lot more AP damage.
And there we go now, some trades back and forth between both teams, and I have to say I am very impressed with Snipers at this point of time. Even though they are down by objectives, and 2 objectives in fact, they are still keeping level in terms of goal between themselves and the Cyclone Fantastic Five. And I think it's mainly because of the CS difference, especially for Zonda and Goni up in the top lane, because Zonda is just out farming Goni by that much more.
And it seems that Zonda will go in with the Unseen Predator, and Su will be taken out extremely low. Wins goes down in the process as well, and both teams will back off from that fight.
That's right, so it's going to be a jungler being traded for the mid laner here. And Zonda now still looking around the area. Will he choose to go into this one? And there we go with the leap onto StyleKang there. Well, just so much relentless holding on to StyleKang there as, you know, he just buys time. And there we go with a crescendo and the Cataclysm landing onto the life of Taipei Snipers there. But it's not going to be enough to take them down just of yet. And now Augustus in a world of trouble. He has to flash over the wall, and Zonda follows suit as well. He will take out Augustus in the process. Will he chase onto 8? No, he won't. But he is happy with that one kill, and you know, StyleKang has to run for his life here. He's being chased up by the Ruthless Predator, like we always call him. And Goni now, will he be able to live through this process? We will have to see. But Zonda and Mystic will now chase onto him in the process, and Wins joining the fight as well. It does look like they just want to scare the little dragon away.
Yeah, so what happened in that team fight earlier was that we saw both the top laner as well as support go in for the back line, but it seems that Taipei Snipers were the ones to get the better of that one, getting Augustus in the process as well. So we saw both teams kind of employ the same strategy, but getting their bruisers to dive in and try to kill their carries. Both got JJ and next ABC were taken down very low, but Goni as well as StyleKang did not have the damage or did not have the abilities to actually follow up to get the clean kills of God JJ and next ABC. So Augustus will go down in that fight. SF5 will lose that trade 2-1.
Right, but nevertheless, I think A put off a pretty decent crescendo in the process to lock the carries of the snipers down and let StyleKang lock them up with the Cataclysm. But JJ, you know, he has that rocket jump to get out of the way, has that flash as well. So in that sense, he wasn't just he wasn't in the position to be caught out as well. So, you know, very smart positioning coming in from him in that sense. And what do you think SF5 has to do to pull that goal lead once again back into their favor?
Like I said, they have a press Archon, so they need to group together, take the objectives, and win the team fights. But on the side of Azubu Taipei Snipers, they would probably want to do the same as well. So we should see some havoc coming in, especially since Dragon will now be spawning an invisible dragon, no less. And it seems that we will have Azubu Taipei Snipers just kind of rounding it out around the back, hoping to actually get a steal off that one. Will we see Wins come in for the Smite Steal? He does go in for the Smite Steal. And StyleKang actually goes in the Mega Inferno Death Rocket as well. So Super Mega Death Rocket comes in as well. So much damage being put out by SF5. Crescendo does come out. Mistake taken down very low. Zonda in the back line wrecking face. StyleKang got JJ will be the next one to go to SF5. Augustus will pick that up. Mistake and Zonda the only ones alive on the side of Azubu Taipei Snipers.
Right, so it's going to be a 3-for-2 trade in the favor of the Saigon Fantastic 5 there, but they did lose the Dragon in the process. I think, you know, with so many weeks of seeing Wins in action, I can safely say he's the greatest objective stealing thief coming in from the side of Garena Premier League, because we have seen time and time again he has always stolen away the major objectives away from the opposition team, with the Baron steal, you know, last week against the Singapore Sentinels as well, and this time it's going to be the Dragon steal going in for his resume.
Yeah, so he will add a lot of that achievement into his resume, as you said, so we will go for a replay in that fight.
There we go, it's going to be the replay of what happened. So Wins, you know, with an impressive steal onto Dragon there, and, you know, Saigon Fantastic 5, they wanted to respond to that, so the, you know, the combination of the Mega Inferno Bomb together with the Super Mega Death Rocket was able to pick some people out in the process, so StyleKang will pick up the kill onto Wins, and the Crescendo not actually landing on an ideal spot as Zonda just dives into the backline, will take out Goni in the process, and, you know, as well as, you know, just for him to stay around to take out more members as well. And there we go, Mistake picking up the counter kill onto Augustus there.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 3-for-2 exchange on top of the Dragon. So 3 deaths on the side of Azubu Taipei Snipers, but they do get the Dragon. And Augustus being jumped on by Zonda here in his own jungle. Will Augustus go down to the Zonda? The dissonance does come out to speed up Zonda, but the Flag Spear combo will knock Zonda up.
And Zonda now just by himself zoning away the carries of Saigon Fantastic 5. At this point of time, it's going to be quite a scary situation like we mentioned earlier. Jinx needs to watch out for that Rengar.
As Jinx definitely needs to watch out for the Rengar. Zonda doing a good job of coming in and disrupting the backlines. In the earlier fight, we saw him just take down Goni single-handedly. Goni forced to blow his Dragon's Descent on that one, and it seems that Mystic will land that stun. So got JJ, Mystic, and Zonda. Whoa, that combo coming in from the Cataclysm, as well as the Super Mega Death Rocket coming out from Augustus. Will pick up the kill onto next ABC, but in response, Azubu Taipei Snipers does pick up the inner turret. But it seems that SF5 will tank it up and try to deal as much damage on this inner turret as well.
Right, so with the Pow Pow and the Zeo coming in for Augustus, they will have the sufficient attack speed as well as damage to take out that inner turret. And SF5, they are now sitting, no, they are not spotted out by the ward, so they will be safe, but I'm not too sure whether they will be escaping out of that one, as Zonda coming in with the throw of the hunt. Now will we see the jump? There we go, the jump onto Su there, and the Satchel Charge will just move him slightly out of position, but God JJ has the sufficient damage, and there we go with the Dark Fly, will catch Su out of position. That's going to be another kill for Wins there. That is a 2-for-0 trade in the favor of the Taipei Snipers. Will they choose to go for Baron? Does not look like it will be the case.
Yeah, a 2-for-0 trade, a very great catch coming in from the side of Azubu Taipei Snipers. Zonda popped the Trail of the Hunt to actually kind of seek out his prey, and this forced the entire team of SF5 to actually mill up the river and get caught in the tri-bush right above Baron. So we'll go in for the replay on that fight in the mid lane. We saw the knockout combo coming in onto next ABC. We will see the Mega Inferno Bomb coming in. It will hit him, taking him down to half health, and the Super Mega Death Rocket just finishing off completely. So great burst combination of the Press R comp coming in from SF5.
Right, it's working out pretty well for them as well. They just need to make sure that between Augustus as well as Su, they have to scale up immediately, because it does look like they are the ones to have majority of the damage, and you know, so far they have comboed up the Press R to win combo pretty well, but they just need the crescendo integration. But now Goni caught out by both Zonda and Mystic will go down in the process. Dragon's Descent come out as well, and Zonda landing the bola shot and one more to lock him down into place. Will he go down? It does look like Goni will be on fire once again. Zonda now popping the thrill of the hunt, and Goni just dancing around because he knows that he won't be able to escape the Predator from that one.
Yeah, he will not be able to escape the Predator indeed. We saw the Bola Strikes, but in return, we actually have SF5 taking a very sneaky, very fast Baron. Great call coming from them. They knew that TPS did not have that vision, but I believe that TPS will want to abuse the rotations coming in from SF5, but SF5 will just all recall in that brush, and they will not be able to catch them out in any form of rotation at all.
Very sneaky Baron attempt without the snipers knowing at all. Looks like they haven't really fixed up the scope in their snipe.
No.
Yeah,
they've not calibrated their scope just yet.
Yeah, they haven't zeroed in the scope at this point in time. But nevertheless, they will be moving up into this top lane, and the Mega Inferno Bomb, just look at the amount of damages. Taking out the entire wave of minions there. There we go, the Shockwave will go down onto Augustus there, and you know, he's still alive in this one, and he takes out Mystic in the process. And Mystic, you know, having the counter kill as well, so not too bad on his own. And Zonda coming right back in onto this one. Shao Kahn will be taken down in the process, and that's the double kill for Zonda. And Goni now will eventually just go down onto Zonda, and Zonda actually has his sights on someone else, and Su taking a whole lot of damage, and Goni will back off from there with a slither of health. And will Goni actually, no, yeah, Su will go down in the process.
That's a very messy fight.
Yeah, very messy fight, but throughout the process, you know, Zonda very well adapted to this Rengar pick, just leaping in and out of action and juggling that aggression all around the board.
Yeah, definitely. We saw Zonda use the brush control just to go in and go out of fights, and he really used the Unseen Predator passive very, very well.
Yeah, precisely. And so even though Saigon Fantastic Fight was able to pick up the Baron buff, they were unable to do anything to kind of follow up onto that, as we do see Snipers now once again going into the Dragon Pit. Hopefully this time they will be able to take out this Dragon without much trouble, not like the last two that we see Vince have to pull off. And there we go, the Dragon into the pockets of Taipei Snipers. They will extend their goal lead up to a good 5,500 at this point of time, so slowly pulling that goal gap apart between both teams.
Yeah, 5,500 gold in favor of the Azubu Taipei Snipers. In that one fight alone, they took that earlier fight 4:1, 4 kills for the Azubu Taipei Snipers, and I think the Baron buff on every single member has disappeared from that fight.
That's right. No more Almighty Purple buff. And it does look like Goni, you know, he's starting to kind of scale up, but he is still on being chased down by both Wins and Zonda here. Will he be going down the process?
He does have his ultimate up. He will go across the wall. The Dark Flight will actually kind of follow it up. Mistake is there for the stun as well. It seems that Goni will go down to the triple combo of the Azubu Taipei Snipers.
Right, but it's taking a while though. And there we go. The final Dark Flight will have enough damage to take out Goni in the process.
Oh, Super the Mega Death Rocket just kind of whizzes past all members of Azubu Taipei Snipers, whereas we have SF5. It's kind of this. Whoa, a great shockwave coming in. The crescendo kind of just airballs and hits nobody, and it seems that the first one to go down will be Augustus.
Right, and there we go. It's going to be Stalkang Lao jumping back into the fray just to buy some time for his teammate. Good guy. Stalkang sacrifices for his team. He is the tribute to District SF5 there.
Ah, the tribute. So many Catching Fire references this time. We actually have this. I heard the Trail of the Hunt being popped. Zonda will not be able to catch up onto Su. He will use the explosive minefield just to kind of zone him out and prevent Zonda from actually entering the brush to catch up.
That's right. Just look like Taipei Snipers will still chase onto the lines of the kind of Fantastic Five though, as you know, at this point of time they do have a great amount of advantage, and between Zonda and Wins they do have a lot of tanky items being completed, so they are able to kind of soak up damage for God JJ to just chunk these objectives down slowly and steadily.
Exactly, and it seems that Azubu Taipei Snipers will continue to put on this aggression that the Team SF5 will not be able to kind of what's the word, to respond to. So the Super Mega Death Rocket, I believe it did airball as well. And
I think it hit Zonda but just tickled him.
It just tickled him? So the Super Mega Tickle Rocket, huh?
Super Mega
You have to
tickle.
take the death out of it since no one died.
Yeah, that's right. It does look like SF5. I'm not too sure whether Goni's decisions are right, but nevertheless, every time he gets caught out of position, the Saigon Fantastic Fight will be able to kind of group up as 4 to try to take out objective. From what we saw earlier, it was the Baron Nashor, and they nearly took out the bottom, this bottom inner turret as well. So, would you say that's a Gambit gaming strategy?
A Gambit gaming strategy, not too much, but it's a Gambit indeed.
Yeah,
it is definitely a Gambit on the side of SF5. They continue to send Goni down to a side lane for a split push attempt, and yet they aren't really able to pick up any form of objective just yet. We may see Goni take down this inner turret, either that or he will recall and join the fight, but it seems that SF5 will try to, you know, deter them from actually going for any sort of engages. Zonda does come with the Unseen Predator, pulls off the Bola Strike, takes Augustus down extremely low. Will Augustus go down in that fight? That Tibet Stun does come in, and Augustus will go down, followed by Egg next.
There we go, and God JJ just jumping right back into the fray with this one, and look at Zonda just sticking onto the carries of SF5 at that point of time, and with the great flash tippers coming in from the stick as well, just locking everyone into place. It does look like TPS will be able to take out this mid inhibitor turret as well as the mid inhibitor, as the only defending members of SF5 at this point of time is going to be Su and Stalkang, so they have to just watch and see as, you know, their inhibitor just crumble. But at the same time, Goni actually having some great amount of space to kind of just poke down at this bottom turret, inhibitor turret here, but he will not be able to take it down, and he will have to back off from there.
Yeah, Baron will be up in another 40 seconds. We will expect both teams to contest that one. We have all ultimates on the side of SF5 up. They will not want to burn it anytime soon. And we will shortly have the ultimates of, well, we actually saw it being burnt there. The cooldown on the Mega Inferno Bomb is quite low, so we may see it come back in time for the Baron fight. The Baron will be up in 20 seconds. Will either team actually go for the Baron? The ward control actually will be in favor of the Azubu Taipei Snipers in the Baron pit. So let's just see the movement of each team, and it seems that Ick will be the one, that one-man Sona Scout to kind of scout out the Baron. Doesn't put a ward in the Baron pit though, so if Azubu Taipei Snipers actually attempt the Baron, we will not know about it, or at least SF5 will not know about it.
Right, it's time for, you know, SF5 to really group up together to pull the, you know, press R to win combination, but At this point of time, it does look like Snipers, they do have their own press R to win combo as well, coming in with the Flash Tibbers as well as the Shockwave, as we have effectively seen XABC do so. So it's gonna be the team to, actually we do see Zonda jumping into the fray, and Goni Dragon's Descent just to run away from the aggressors that is the Taipei Snipers.
So another ultimate going down for the side of SF5, and this is going to allow Azubu Taipei Snipers to kind of pull ahead even further, because they will have all the ultimates up. The Super Mega Death Rocket will hit Wins. Actually, he was caught clearing out the ward. That's the Super Mega Tickle Rocket right there, because it's not going to do any sort of damage.
There we go, Zonda jumping onto Goni once again, but this time around the entire team of SF5 will be around the corner to kind of back him out. But Zonda once again, he's such the, he's such a disruptor on the side of Taipei Snipers at this point of time. He is just, going in and making sure that he sticks to the carry of Saigon Fantastic Five, and they have no exact answer to that.
That's right. Zonda has been the one that's been sent to the back lines to kind of disrupt it all. It seems that we may have a pick coming in, but the Martian standard will kind of spot them out. So no trap card being activated here by the side of SF5.
So I think both teams are just dancing around and making sure that they are able to spot the movements of the other, but at this point of time, the mid inhibitor is down, and they have to kind of answer to this bottom wave that is shoving in the direction for the Saigon Fantastic Five. But fortunately for them, they do have that Ziggs pick, and he has quite a lot of items up on himself as well, even though he has not effectively found any kills, but he does have that death cap, and it does look like Snipers, looking at the position of Su, that will attempt to go for that Baron Nashor.
Yeah, the Baron will be attempted on the side of the Azubu Taipei Snipers. Zonda will go in with the lead.
There we go, the Shockwave. And God JJ will pick up the kill onto Su there, and Wins still alive in this one. Goni will jump onto God JJ there, and StyleKang now not too sure whether to focus his attention onto him or not. And Mystic will actually take out Augustus in the process, and Zonda leaping into the action. And Goni has to run away, and overall it's going to be a 3-for-3 exchange, but both Zonda and God JJ very healthy in this one. Will they choose to push onto this bottom inhibitor turret? It does look like it's going to be the area of focus for them, and God JJ having their monstrous amount of attack speed already will be able to take it down relatively quickly. And there we go now. They are focusing their target onto StyleKang. It does look like StyleKang will go down. It's going to be unstoppable for God JJ at this point of time. They will take out this bottom inhibitor as well. So once again, opening up another pathway for themselves to victory as they back off from the threats of SF5 now.
Yeah, I really like what Azubu Taipei Snipers did there at the Baron pit. They were actually doing Baron, and we had the entire SF5 kind of rotate around the Baron pit and try to stop them. But the moment the Snipers kind of smelled that out, they sent Zonda to be the first one to meet them in the front line. The entirety of the team of Snipers just disengaged from Baron, and they went into the team fight. But we did see that press R comp come into effect. We had them take down next ABC very early, as well as Wins, but Wins still had the Bloodwell passive out, was able to come back and cause some more havoc. But the key player of that match was actually Zonda. He actually zoned out Augustus exclusively, and then they were able to take him down without Augustus actually dealing a lot of damage into the fight.
There we go. Actually, Zonda jumping right into the frame with the flash, and there we go, the Shockwave, and attempting to reconnect there. But nevertheless, Mega and Photobomb being popped as well, but so much more damage coming in from Taipei Snipers. And once again, Zonda jumping right back into the fray with the Thrill of the Hunt. Su is taken down extremely and dangerously low. He will go down, or is he? Yeah, he is going to go down to Zonda there. Legendary for him. And Goni now chasing onto Mistake there, but the Command Protect just barely keeping him alive in the process. It's going to be 4 members down on the side of Saigon Fantastic Five. Does look like Snipers will be finishing up this game really soon.
Yeah, no deaths on the side of the Azubu Taipei Snipers, and it seems that they will take this game for the victory. The death timers are a little bit too long for SF5 to actually respond to it, so no Baron Buffs being picked up at the final part of the game, but Azubu TPS dealing a ton of damage onto SF5, taking the game for the win.
That's right, and with that, they will effectively have the lead up in the leaderboard for Group B as well. And that was a very they did struggle a little bit in the early game as Saigon Fantasify had a pretty decent start, early game start, I would say. But because of this slow and aggressive comeback that Snipers was able to pull out, eventually they just hit a threshold and they were able to build on the advantage to kind of pull themselves back into this one. And they had a very good advantage as our camera kind of goes crazy there. And yeah, so very impressive victory from the Snipers there. I would have to say, Saigon Fantasify, they actually had a very good start, like I was mentioning. They kind of had that groove going on, but they were unable to build out of there. It just hit a point where they were kind of lost. They had the advantage, they didn't really know what to do with it. And I think that was pretty much a wasted call for them.
Yeah, I agree. They should have continued to press on their early game lead and just continued to group up and use the level 6 power spike to their advantage, because they have a kind of somewhat a press R comp, I would say, and they didn't manage to do that. So the win will go to Azubu Taipei Snipers. They take the lead in the groups, but if the other two teams on the side in Group B actually kind of win their next few games, which is going to be Full Lewis up against SGS next, they will tie it up first place once again.